Hello everyone, welcome back to the Roadkill Rivals Let's Play Board Game Edition Preview Review. If you're just joining us, we're covering a game called Roadkill Rivals that is currently on Kickstarter and will be until August 20th, 2015. So there's still plenty of time to get in on the action. I want to say that Roadkill Rivals is a great, fun, quick, very fast-paced little game. It's surprisingly deep for how little information there is on the cards. I mean, if you look at the cards, you got like 2 numbers, and that's really it for the large majority of the cards. I mean, some of them have like 3 or 4 words giving a power, and the roadside cards have more of a sentence or so describing what they do. But it has a lot of deep, it has a lot of complex thinking potential. That being said, a turn usually takes a matter of seconds. There are 4 cards out there to choose from. Usually you can figure out what you want to do. The biggest decision and the longest turns are when you have to decide, do I help myself or do I screw over my opponent? Because it's very attacky game. It's very much player interaction, which people that like that will very much enjoy. It is a high luck based game. What cards come out during your turn and what's available on the freeway makes a huge difference in how well you do. Who gets the roadside cards makes a difference because they're by far the most powerful cards in the game. That being said, while they make a difference, they're not make or break. You don't necessarily need them. They really help out, but you can win even if your opponent gets them, gets more than you of them. So it's how you play matters almost as much as what cards you get. And despite being a high-scoring game, I have to say the scores have always been exceptionally close. The scores, for the most part, if you don't play a too attacky game, scores are in the mid-20s, upper to lower 30s. And we've never had a game that was more 4 or 5 points difference between the players. So I'd have to say, despite the high luck, it really is it's a very balanced game, and the scores come out really close. You always feel like you're in it. No one's ever left out. It's actually a really good balance, which I like. I also want to say I really like the balance. The most powerful animal and the most powerful vehicle take up 2 key slots rather than everything else, which takes up 1, and that adds a lot of balance because really those powerful cards are exceptionally powerful, and if they only took up 1 slot, they'd be broken. I mean, there's no reason not to pick them. This adds that little step. Do I want that card that can't be destroyed, but it takes up 2 slots? It puts more of thought into it, which I really like. I do find it weird. Some of the vehicles are worth points, and others are not. And that's even within the same power. Like, this Jeep is worth 1 point, but this Jeep over here is not. It's weird, but I do have to say I see the point. It adds a lot of variation to the game, and it increases the replayability a lot. It also adds a little more thinking to it. Oh, this Jeep's worth points, but I know my opponent's going to wreck it. So do I take the one that's not worth points this turn and hope maybe by the next time I draw they'll have created Roadkill and not be able to destroy it? So it puts a lot in there that you can think about, and as well as adding to the replayability, which is nice. Now you need to one of the things we really learned, you need to pay attention to when the game is going to end. Because all your cards in your lane get put directly into your scoring pile, it makes a big difference with those last couple turns. If you can stock up on animal cards, especially the higher point ones, it can make a huge difference in the scoring at the end game. Overall, I want to say Roadkill Rivals is a fun little game, a nice fast-paced game. It's great for casual players. You can pick it up, and it takes maybe 5 minutes to learn. If that, it's really, you pretty much pull it out of the box and you can play it really quick. Games take 15 to 20 minutes, which, as I say on the Kickstarter, and I've seen that true. It doesn't really matter how many players because there's a set number of cards in the deck. and every player's turn, no matter how many players, is going to take about the same amount of time. So it overall works out to about 15 to 20 minutes no matter what. I want to say it's good for the casual player. It's also good for the hardcore player because there's a lot to think about. But I'd see it more like a starter game. Oh, let's do it at the beginning of the night to get into the gaming mood, that kind of a thing. Or great in-between games, like if you're waiting for another game to finish, it's, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. And I mean, that's a really long game. That's with a lot of thinking. So it's really good for that. Overall, I really like the game, and I highly recommend it. And I hope that you pick it up on Kickstarter. And that's all for my preview review. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe. I hope to see you in the playthrough video. And as always, remember to stay geeky.